how do I make a control rig, and how to control variables from the control rig via blueprint. So control rig can be created if you have, if I open up the project again, right? So you need to go inside the animation mode, or maybe we can open up the level blueprint, level sequencer, add a normal level sequence, or we have few of them. Let us just create one, right? So in Unreal Engine, right, the mannequin already have a control rig. So if just have a look when we put the mannequin over here, right? I'll just drag it over here and then some character, or maybe just a mannequin skeletal mesh we will put. But this already has, as you can see, this has a control rig. So what this control rig means, we have a rig that means a skeleton, and that skeleton has a control to it, right? Control rig is a skeleton. If you add a control to a skeleton, it becomes a control rig. So that means you can move each and every skeleton of this, right, through these rings. We call this as rings, right? So now you can even rotate like this, or anything inside here you can change it. So as you can see, right click control rig. We already have a control rig. What if we just delete this control rig? So you can right click over here, right? And then from here, bake to control rig. And then we have this control rig over here. And then we can create one control rig just like this. Now this control rig is already baked. Why it is already baked? Because it has this idle animation to it. Hence it is getting baked. But what you can do is we can change each and every node from it. Or if you want, we can just delete all these, right? And I can create my own animation inside this control rig. So I can start with adding a node over here, and then I can just, so adding a control over here. The 15th second I want him to move this up or something like this. We just use a normal control. So I can update this control rig now. Right. So now as you can see, it is moving up. And then it automatically moved it down because we have still the animations aren't deleted from here. So that's how you can bake a control rig, and then after you bake it, you can convert it into an animation itself, your own animation, right? So I can just delete this. So now we can just add more and more to this simply. So over here, if I wanted to, I want to make it move, rotate like this, then I will record this again. Here, I updated it. So from here to here, it will rotate. After this is done, then I can just right click and I can convert into an animation sequence or into pose asset. So all these things, they have options. Now, the question you asked over here was, can you uh, control variables? So there are, unfortunately, there is no variables from here. I mean, if you say that, can I create a variable over here and for it in the blueprint? You cannot, but there is something called as anim notifiers, right? Now that anim notifiers, it is inside animation. It is not inside the sequencer over here. So if I open up any animation that I have, let me check which animation. This is animation composite. In animation composite, what happens? You can merge more than one animation to, like, two, three animation, one animation. That you can do in animation composite. I was talking about the variables. So there is no variables. Uh, Variables, it is called as notifiers, notify in the animation, but it is not in the sequencer. If it is not in the sequencer, that means it is not linked with the control rig. Alright, so that is what I was saying about the, so over here. as you can see, notifiers. You can add notifiers over here, add a notify track, and then you can use this notifier inside a blueprint. Right? Add a notifier track or add a notifier state. All these things you can do. Like I can add the state, and then I will call this inside the blueprint. That thing I can do. So this will act. It is like a variable actually. This can be like a variable. It can be used. So, but unfortunately, there is nothing as a variable inside the control rig. Like if you could explain me what are you trying to achieve from this control rig, so I can explain you better what you want to do with the control rig. Right? Why do you have the need of the variables in the control rig?